Hello, good evening everybody, welcome along to the PSGL Esports Cup for 2020, and we've expanded, we've gone from 5 teams to 10, it's bigger, better than ever, and I cannot wait to share it with everyone tonight. And alongside me, Owen Wyatt, we've sacked Odems, unfortunately. No, will anyone miss him? I'm not too sure. In his place, we've got Austin.
Yes, good evening everybody. We are going to have 6 rounds of this. Round 1 coming live to you tonight from the Baku City Circuit. The second longest track on the calendar. Only Spa is longer. And obviously quite an unusual track generally for a straight circuit with its long straights. But in other ways, also a very, very typical street circuit if you, for example, just look at the castle section.
Yes, the castle section that every year we come to and we expect there to be big accidents, but honestly, it appears that these guys are genuinely good at taking it now. I know I'll eat my words later on, but castle section, it feels like it gets less and less scary every single time we come here. But yeah, we are here. As I say, we have got 10 teams this season. Obviously, we had only 5 last time back in January, and Comrade Gaming won that one. Basically through their consistency. But what we have this year, or this time around I should say, that will disadvantage them maybe, you could say, is the fact that they won fully due to the fact that they had 4 drivers who were all in the top 10 every race. Every team only gets 2 drivers, because obviously we can't have 40 car grids. That's the way that has to work. And so, started this early so we could probably go through the teams, so shall we do that?
Indeed.
Righty, I shall start with the team that we kind of sort of have to be nice and friendly to, because if we aren't we'll get sacked, unless of course you're Austin, who may or may not be affiliated with another team. Anyway, BDG, Brutal Democracy Gaming, as most people know, run by the big man in charge of all this operation here, Connor. He's not racing now, as you might have noticed. In their team, we'll go through their main team, their 4 drivers who are entered for the championship, and then the 2 who are racing tonight. So we've got Jonathan Kiski, Midnight, and Louis Welsh, otherwise known as Pad OP, Line OP, who's not going to be able to do any of that this season for this event, so that'll be interesting to see. And as you can see, he's in the lobby along with Kiski, so that is the McLaren team for BDG this season.
Yeah, next up we are going to have Comrade Gaming, CRG. Their drivers today are CRG Blizzard and CRG Sparks in the Toro Rosso. And unfortunately I don't have my graphic with all the drivers right now, so Owen, if you can please help me out here.
Yep, so the 4 drivers for CRG there in the Toro Rosso. As we say, we got Blizzard and Sparks and Gamer and Cardinal. I hope we've said that one right. And as you say, we've got Blizzard and Sparks racing tonight. I'll probably have all the full teams. If you want, I can just quickly run through the grid now while I've got all the full graphic. So next up we got VSR Racing Point. They will be using this season, and they have got their 4 drivers: Casper, Onyx, Lee Finley and Vasta Racer. A full PSGL F1 lineup, and the 2 racing tonight are Casper and Vasta Racer. 2 relatively accomplished drivers in the previous season, so we'll be interested to see how they do here tonight. We've got the FV team racing in Ferrari. They've got Nolan, they've got Walters, they've got Young, and they've got Hadler. And tonight they'll be using Walters and Hadler. And for S2V we have got, should I call him Cochlear or what? It's a weird name, that one. We'll get to it, we'll figure something out. So we got him, you've got Danny, you've got Liam, and you've got Speedster. Tonight we've got in the car Danny and Liam, and we've got still 5 more teams. As you can see, there's plenty of people set up for this one. We've got EDC F1 in the Red Bull, and they'll be having Joglar, Marino, Andre and Jopra, and tonight they'll be racing with Joglar and Andre. VRT will be using Renault. They've got Jordan, Arrow, Shimin, I hope I said that right. I probably haven't. Timon, there you go. I knew I said that wrong. And Surface. And tonight they'll be using Arrow and Timon. Is that not? You say his name.
It's like Simon, only with the TH in the beginning, but it rhymes with Simon.
You can say his name tonight.
Come on, it's not that hard. It's not that difficult.
Right, quickly before this starts, I'll go for the other three teams, so don't have to worry about this throughout qualifying. IGK next, they're in the Alfa Romeo, and they've got Deso, they've got Domi, they've got Juiced, and they've got Zach. Tonight, they're using Zach and Juiced in their Alfa Romeo. MNT are in the Haas, they've got Frederick, William, Louis, and LeBron. Obviously, MNT Louis, not really to be confused with Louis Wells, although you'll probably notice that Louis Wells will be at the back, which might well make it difficult to tell, but yeah, just use their 3-letter codes for Louis and MNT, and you should be able to tell the difference, hopefully. Also, one will be in the Williams, one will be in the McLaren. We'll get through it. And tonight, they're running Frederick and Louis. The MNT
I think you meant
team.
to say they're in the Haas, not the Williams, because the Williams team obviously has been...
No. One of the drivers is called William.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of of Williams, we've got Williams JIM. Of course, they'll be in the Williams. I mean, they sort of have to be, don't they? They've got Roy, Tim, Sven, and Truesdale. And tonight they're running Sven and they're running Truesdale. So that is the grid. You'll get used to them, hopefully, throughout the season. And they will be changing every week, of course, since they've got 4 drivers to use at their disposal throughout the season. And just to run you through the format as well, while these guys all get out for the start of qualifying here in Azerbaijan. As you can see, it's nice and dry. Format is very similar to PSGL, the usual short qualifying, 50% race distance, safety car enabled, dynamic weather. Big difference, no assists. And yeah, that will affect some people more than it will affect others. And of course, another massive change, points down to 20th. So everyone who finishes or is classified with having done 90% of the race will get some points. And the point system actually is extraordinarily simple. It goes 30, 25, and then 22, 20, 18, 16, and 14 down to 7th, and then just 13, 12, 11, 10, and so on down to 1 in 20th. Very simple, means everyone's going to be staying in the game pretty easily. And the calendar as well, might as well go for that while we're here. Azerbaijan tonight, then Austria next week, Canada, China, USA and Brazil. As we say, only 6 rounds, a short season, but an entertaining one, I'm sure.
Yeah, and when I'm looking at the calendar, looking at all 6 tracks, I mean, there's not one track where I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a boring race. I mean, Azerbaijan always does for great racing, same with Austria for sure, because Austria, I've made the experience, at least on this game, is the closest track, mostly because it only has around 8 to 10 corners, depending on how you count it, and really only about 5 heavy braking zones. So it's really a track where you can't, do that much wrong, and so everyone's going to be close, everyone's going to be bunched up, and everyone's going to have the opportunity to win that. Then we have Canada, China. Canada also always a driver's favorite. China also, on this game at least, always does for great racing. USA, and I mean, having Brazil as the final race of that short season, I have to say, it brings back memories of the old days when Abu Dhabi wasn't on the calendar. And it was just a better world back in the day.
I'll also agree with that. Obviously, last season there was no Abu Dhabi either, and no one single person missed it. No less me, anyway. Obviously, able to wrap up my PSGL F3 titles. Well, hey, in Brazil. I will plug this a lot. Don't you dare try and stop me.
I won't, because I know I can't.
Odin didn't quite get that.
Meanwhile, in Sector 2, I don't know where that was. I think that was before the castle section. I think that was about... Where is that? Turn... where do I have my... There you go. It was about turn 6, 7, that area.
Well, it's nothing important. I guess people maybe were just slowing down there. We just saw Sparks hopping over the turn 15 curve, and that is something that we should probably point out. We got some stewards notes as well for tonight. Track limits are not going to be monitored at turn 15, basically because what most drivers do, they cut it completely, then they'll jump over the curb. And yeah, you can say that'll gain an advantage, but it comes at a massive risk, because if you get that wrong, you'll be into the wall. And I guess I've been told, do this at your own risk. If you get caught, you get caught out, and then that's just your problem. We're not going to enforce anything. Also reported out, I know I've mentioned this plenty of times in streams, drivers are not allowed to exploit the VSC. We've seen so many times that the VSC is exploited because drivers are in agreement that says VSC ending and they're just flooring it. And they could be 1 or 2 seconds outside the delta and they'll still get away with it, unless they're a lobby host, which of course is an unfair advantage in every sense of the word, as Danny Egg was faster with plenty of such of his teammate. And so yeah, virtual safety cars no longer exploitable, thank goodness for that. And if they do exploit, then they'll get penalties, of course. And also, safety car restarts, no overtaking before the start finish line. We've seen that happen so many times in leagues as well, where it's caught people out and caused accidents. And so I'm glad to not see that either.
Yeah, it needs to be said though that obviously with 10 teams here, with proper esports teams, with proper drivers, the driving standards here should be very, very high compared to what you might be used to in some league races. I know I've seen my fair share of wild races because of that, but this is the best of the best here, really. Sure, F1 Esports would be one step above that, but that's about it.
Oh, Blizzard hit the wall pretty hard there. He was going to get some stitch off his teammate. I mean, he might still finish the lap. He might as well. Not massive wing damage, but that might well affect his lap. And that is pretty much the entire risk-reward of cutting turn 15. That's why it's not been reported on, as we lose Kiski in the castle. I think there's a roadblock there. There is a massive roadblock. Louis got involved, Casper, Simon as well in there. What on earth went on there? He must hit the wall on the inside, or the outside, either way. Kiski into the wall somewhere or another. Blizzard still went second with that broken front line, by the way. Impressive stuff. Shows he's got plenty more pace, but yeah, we've already had a casualty at the castle.
Yeah, and what that damaged front wing probably did to a Blizzard's lap is it might have just improved it, because he really extended the track limits to the maximum and beyond, because he did hit the wall after all, and two, losing a part of your front wing reduces the drag, so the car should actually do a little bit better on the straight with some front wing damage. And considering where he lost the front wing, or part of his front wing I should say, all he had really left was turn 16 and then a whole lot of full speed ahead of him, so maybe he lost a little bit of time in turn 16, but not too much, because it's really only the end plate missing. And from there, he probably gained some time. Because of slipstream from his teammate, who was Sparks, who was placed very tactically in front of him. Well done there by the Toro Rosso guys as well. And and the front wing damage.
Yeah, so I guess he got away with that one nicely, but he probably doesn't want to do that too much more often, because it might well have affected his run through the left, right a little tiny bit. Certainly time to improve. It's their first laps anyway, so they'll probably improve a lot more. We've only got one person out to do a lap at the moment. He's about to start it now. It's the Ferrari paddler. His teammate's into the pit lane, and you can see there that white line. You've got to commit there in the race to that pit lane nice and early. If you are crossing that line or going in late, then you will get a 5-second penalty. So basically what Raikkonen did here in 2016 in a real life race, basically don't do that. And also to be pointed out, drivers who lose connection during the race will be disqualified if they come back because of the corner cutting glitch in the game, which basically means if you disconnect and rejoin, you can cut every single corner on the track and get away with it. Just the last two things on the steward's notes.
Yeah, although I have to say I find it quite confusing to see where you can cut corners on this track. I mean, maybe turn 6, the right-hander
16
at the
16's a big cut.
Oh yeah, 6. Yeah, you're right. 16 and turn 7 as well, a little bit. If you cut there over the inside, you can do that as well. But apart from that, I mean, there's not that many opportunities here to cut corners. So, but still, the rule is in place for all the races, not just this one, but for all 6 races, because we have tracks like Austria, where obviously you could take massive corner cuts. If you got that, or Canada, I mean, just imagine the Wall of Champions, just cutting that chicane out completely. That will save you about 3 seconds.
That's why the rules are fine in the first place, because Aaron Collingwood did that and was sitting like 106s or something in season 24, I think it was. I think that's the whole reason for the rule being in, frankly.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously it's a sensible rule. Could be unfortunate for some of the drivers. I mean, if you do lose connection, something, I mean, it's not a fault of your own. At that point, it's really just unfortunate. But yeah, those are the rules. If the game was a little bit different and did not have such a glitch, obviously the rule would be different, but or it would probably not exist in the first place. But the way it is, that's how PSGL have decided to deal with that issue, and you got to respect that.
Yeah, and I agree with it, frankly. It isn't fair on others if you're out there cutting the corners. So, yeah, good to see that rule in there. Hopefully nobody DCs out tonight. That would be a shame. And, yeah, we're watching the two Hasses, and you're also seeing two racing points. We've got a lot of Slipstream Fest going on. Frederick is going to be the first one to get that Slipstream. As he crosses the line, he should improve. He goes up to P7. Nice stuff. And here is Vaster Racer. He's on for P1 at the moment. His Slipstream will help. He's going to degrade a tiny little bit as he gets to the line, is he? Oh no, he nailed that one actually. Used every ounce of that ERS and didn't actually run out. Very nice stuff, and a good lap as well. 410's clear at the front.
Yeah, that is a fantastic lap from Vaster Racer right there, I have to say. Clearing the opposition by 4/10 at this point in qualifying, that's got to be enough for, I would say, at the very least, the top two, the front two rows. So at least P4. I don't think there's going to be more than 3 people who are going to be able to catch him with that time.
Here comes Danny now, getting some Slipstream off his teammate, Liam, who was having to hold up a Ferrari and Red Bull. I don't think there was any wrong doing there, but I did notice it on the map. As Danny comes up to the line and goes P3. A small improvement, but nothing too major, if I'm being honest. And who else is getting towards the end of a lap then? I think Simon is up. He's got no Slipstream this time, but he should put himself right up the leaderboard if he can keep that pace up. P7, not bad, good stuff. We'll follow with Blizzard, sure. He's tapped the wall there on the way up the hill. He's really given it everything. No damage, so we've got away with that, but he really just glided through the wall there. Lucky to keep that one on the road, but good to see aggressive driving. With 6.5 minutes to go in qualifying, he should still have time for one more run, so maybe this is 1-4 experimenting. No crashing this time into turn 15's exit wall, which means he should have a good old chance of going high in the field as Casper makes it VSR 1-2 at the moment. But Blizzard on the back of his teammate. No front wing damage this time, but he is slow on ERS. I wonder if he's abandoning the lap then. That's a shame.
Yeah, I think so. He's pulling over to the left side. I think that's the sign that he's committing to going into the pits, and so he does indeed. So, yep, that's abandoning the lap for both of them, really. Sparks going into the pits as well. They're going to have one more attempt. Maybe 2 if they get out quickly. 1 each, effectively. But, yeah, Toro Rosso already in a pretty good situation there in P6 and P8 for Comrade Gaming.
Yeah, he's just got to nail those last runs, because there's a lot of good stuff, actually, in Blizzard's lap there. And especially plenty of improvements on the first time round. If you can just nail everything together, it could be quite close at the front there. But as we say, 5 minutes to go, so a lot of people are probably going to pit, and we'll see a little bit of a sort of a lull in lap times. Only sort of ones you've got going on at the minute. Well, really, only one's
Arrow's coming towards the line.
He's slow, isn't he? Oh no, he's going for it. Sorry.
No, he's going for it, and he
P6,
moves up to P6.
Good stuff, actually.
So VRT squad now in P6 and P10. They're going to be happy for now, but there's still 5 minutes left, obviously, so a lot can change, and we only have 1.4 seconds between P1 and P19, so it is all really, really close. The tiniest mistake can move you way down the order.
Absolutely, especially on a track as difficult as this one, but it seems to have all been pretty good so far, if I'm being honest. Apart from Kiski, he stuck it into the wall early on. We've been all very well behaved, and Louis, by the way, is up into 2nd position. Louis Welsh, of course, that is. Not too bad on his no assists. Not quite as high as he wants to be, of course, but still plenty of time.
Yeah, and I just watched IGK Zach there. I thought he was on a lap, but he wasn't, abandons it. And he has done what the drivers should not do in the race. He has cut over the white line there on the pit entry. In qualifying, that is okay, I think. In the race, that should not be done.
Yeah. I think qualifying's fine to do, but yeah, just gotta be careful. Hopefully I'll check the rules, because it'd be very irritating when I start nitpicking people, because then no one likes me anymore. I still don't think Sparks has forgiven me for what I did to him. I had to. I was asked to. I'm sorry, Sparks.
Oh, Owen. Don't you know the old saying, snitches get stitches?
People who don't listen to their league admins get fired as well. I've heard that one as well.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, hello to the 100 people, by the way, in here. We haven't seen 100 on this channel before, so please don't leave now. Please don't hate us. Stay.
Come on. Don't beg for it. Come on,
I'm not
Owen.
begging. I'm just saying that Connor's probably dropped dead of amazement, frankly, saying this. But anyway, we've got more laps becoming starting now. True Dale X is starting his last lap, I'd assume. No teammate around. He's currently on his way through the middle sector, so quite a long way behind actually, so this could be just doing it all by himself, but we'll see. He could do 2 laps, of course, if he wants, but we'll see.
Yeah, it could be that Truesdale is doing his lap now, and then maybe afterwards Sven, his teammate, is then going to take the slipstream. That could very well happen, but we'll see how they plan this out. Maybe the thing is, some drivers, sometimes you don't want the slipstream. Sometimes you just rather have, just being on your own, not have the distraction in front, because you may think that once you exit turn 16, you're done. You just have to full throttle it and that's it. But the section of turn 18, 19, the fast left right hander there, it is tricky. Especially with no assists. I mean, you can spin out, you can just lose the back end a little bit there, and all of a sudden, the lap you thought was going to go so well ends in the wall, and you're going to be starting from whatever position you set your previous lap for.
Yeah, sorry, just answering the question there that Jay had in there. Pole time, 1 minute 36.456. I'm aware that the, purple's very difficult to read. True Steel isn't on to beat that at the moment, but he is up by about a 10th, looking, I guess, for that P6. He's tracking for that at the moment as he comes up to the finish line. Teammates still half a lap away, so there'll be no slipstream or anything there. It's a weird sort of... It's not even a tactic, it's a non-tactic, really. But anyway, Truesdale, P6, yeah, that's where he was... that's where I expected him to go.
Yeah, we improved over Aero and Blizzard there by less than a 10th. That's how close that is. In fact, he's only 13 milliseconds ahead of P8 and CNG Blizzard.
Sorry, you have to remember, Blizzard's 7/10 up at the moment. This could be a 35 if it's good. And not quite enough, he lost so much. That's the lack of a toe for you. That's how much it cost you. But you know what? His teammate will get that toe. He's starting his lap just behind. So if Sparks can replicate that lap, we could yet see somebody into the 35s as Danny goes fastest there.
36.402 for him. And we have yellow flags everywhere right now as Jogla retired from the session. What happened there? Was that in the pit lane? I think that's in the pit lane. Danny retires as well. I think for him, it's really just that he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other Red Bull of Andres, the other ECDF1 car is still out there now approaching turn 15. So must have been Jogla in the pit lane retiring.
Casper goes P4 there. Faster Racer now starting his last lap. And the timer is hitting 0 now, so everyone is on their last laps. Sorry if I'm struggling to keep a track of who's where. It's very hectic at the minute. We'll watch Sparks. Should be the next one there. He's still got his teammate just in front, ready for some slipstream.
Yeah, he's abandoned. He's down to 0 ERS.
Yeah. Ooh. Well then, that is that for those two. Hopefully they've done enough. Liam's out there. He's up by a 10th at the moment on his best qualifying lap. Sven on a lap or Truesdale, and then they're both on the way back into the pit lane.
No, I think only the guys you see right now with 0 laps on their fitted tyres. I think they're the ones who might still be on laps, like Vasta Racer,
Louis Bendit.
Louis. Oh, yeah, yellow flag. Well, he's
messing these last laps
off track, so that should still be fine for Vasta Racer, who's going on. He's still going for it. Let's look at the second sector split for him. Should be coming off to this corner right here.
He was first. Whoa. He was purple in the first sector. Can he keep this up in the middle sector, Vasta Racer? Oh, yes, he can, but
that could be a 35 right there.
Did he have slipstream on his last lap? That's what we're going to find out as he comes round, because that time will fly down if he didn't have any. So
I remember he did.
this will come down to probably under a tenth of a second. If he can
be an
go
improvement
top.
for pole position.
He's going to derate as well. This isn't going to go to Paul, I don't think. We'll see. Oh, it does.
It is.
It does.
36.292. What a lap with no slipstream assistance. I think that's everyone. There's only Sven, Thyman who are still out there, not on fast laps. Same with Casper. So Vasta Racer takes pole position there for Visceral, with Danny MG for S2V in second place, and then Blizzard for Comrade Gaming in third.
A very good lap that for Vasta Racer. I'm very impressed by that. You know, with that no slipstream, that is just, you can't even deny that is the best lap we've seen today. And very deserving on being on pole. And VSR, you know, they've got one car on each of the front two rows. That is not a bad place to be when you've got such a tight grid. I mean, there's so many teams that just have maybe one in the top 10. And there's only, well, it's actually saying that there's 3 teams that have got both cars in the top 10. Good stuff for them, actually. But to have them so high up, that is a major, major advantage going into this race. And we're just waiting, I think, for Sven to, well, hurry it up. Come on, lad.
Yeah. What I find surprising is that we have S2V being so far apart. We have Danny MG in second place and then Liam Parnell all the way down to P18. And at the same time, the same holds true for McLaren with Louis Walsh in P5, but obviously Kiski, who wasn't even able to set a lap time as he crashed in the castle section early on in qualifying. So he will start all the way down from P20. That might be a driver to look out for. I've had my fair share of experience commentating over Kiski driving. He's an incredibly quick driver. He knows how to drive with no assist, so this is nothing new for him right here. But meanwhile, it is Vasta Racer on pole position, just a tenth and a bit clear of Danny MG.
Yeah, we'll go through the rest quickly. All starting on the sauce in the top 10, as you can see. But yeah, Vasta Racer from Danny, then Blizzard, Casper, Louis, Thyman, still can't say it, Sven, Truesdale,
that was
Aero,
correct.
good stuff then. Aero and Zach, your top 10, like I say, all on the sauce, unless it rains, we maybe don't know. But anyway, yeah, rest of the drivers, Sparks, Waters, Frederick, Juiced, Joglar, Hadler, Andre, Liam, Louis, and yeah, Kiski, who had no time, 1.3 seconds separating the 19 who did set a time. Nice and close.
Yeah, and I think that's what we can expect for the race as well, having all drivers pretty close to each other. Obviously, it's very likely. With these drivers, a little less likely because they know their racecraft, but generally the track lends itself to some kind of incident, let's say in the first 4 corners. I think that's about right.
I mean, I've said it before about this track. The big problem these guys always tend to have is that they go too slow for their own good. Because you always say on the start here, right, this is going to be carnage. I'm going to be nice and careful. That's actually what's causing the accidents, because everyone's going too slowly for their own good. And it's causing, especially in turn 2, I've had it happen to myself in league racing many times. Turn 2 is a car park. And it always happens.
Yeah, it is, but I see... I would disagree with that. I think you're just too quick. you're just throwing it in there. You know, you're a little bit too aggressive, maybe.
I mean, no, I've watched many league races where that's happened. It's because the guys at the front, you know, they'll always say, okay, I'm going to brake nice and early so I don't go into the wall. And then the guys behind, okay, I'm going to brake early so I don't run into him. And the guys behind, I'm going to brake early. And it's a chain reaction. And eventually, they're going to hit each other. And it always happens, especially, like I say, at turn 2. Cold tires, lap 1, you're going to crash. So hopefully these guys know what they're doing.
Well, I can just, you know, speaking from experience, back in the day when I was racing, which obviously a long time ago, with me being 27, pretty much here, the old guy, in sim racing in general, maybe. I think it's just a matter of that the one driver is not thinking that, oh yeah, everyone else in front of me is going slow, so I need to adjust and be even slower. So one guy just forgets about it, and that's the guy who causes the crash.
Well, I guess we'll see which one of us is right about that then. I mean, hopefully none of us are right, but I have a feeling that we might get some contact. Anyway, we should probably look at the tires outside the top 10. Obviously, everyone inside the top 10 gets to start in the soft, and there are two people, the two Red Bulls, who decided to go on to the soft. Only one on the hard, that's MNT Louis, and then all the medium runners are Sparks, Walters, Frederick, Juiced, or Jost, I don't know.
It's Juice. The thing is, I asked him on Twitter before tonight what his name was, because I wasn't sure, because I obviously I do a little bit of research. I looked at his Twitter profile, saw he was Dutch. I thought, okay, the Dutch pronunciation would be probably Joost. I asked him, I was like, is it Joost or is it Juice? And he said it's Juice, so that's what we're going with.
Fair enough, and the other two mediums are Liam and Kiski. And yeah, it should be a pretty simple one-stop, you'd hope.
Yeah, definitely. The soft runners are running into a little bit of an issue because the softs don't really last that long. However, they do last long enough to make it a one-stop soft to hard. However, some of the drivers would rather go for, I think, maybe soft. Hold on.
I mean,
do these other drivers want to go soft to medium?
You can do that, yeah.
You can? Really? When I was doing the testing earlier, I wasn't able to do it. I had to go soft to hard.
I mean, you got to factor safety cars in. I mean, that could always help extend the tire life as well. I'm sure some people will try it.
The top 10 are probably going to hope for it. Same with the two Red Bulls.
Yeah. Right then, well, we're just waiting for two at the back. Come on, hurry up. Louis and Kiski to line up on the back row. And we are getting ready.
Don't be so impatient, Owen.
I'm excited. It's the first round of the PSGL Esports Cup for 2020. First round out of 6. And you will see when these lights come on. Vaster Racer on the left and Danny on the right. 5 lights are on in Baku. And we are away. Looks like a decent start for Danny. We'll see what he does on the inside of turn 1. Will he take any risks? He brakes relatively early. He's going to maybe try and set it up for later on. No collisions through turn 1 though, luckily. Casper up ahead of Blizzard, look. And now on the inside of turn 2, we've got a bit of contact between the top 2. Everyone else making it through relatively cleanly by the looks of it. A bit of free wide in the background. And now you can see Danny. Danny's into the lead of the race. And we've got free wide nearly behind for second place, by the looks of it. It looks like we're all sort of keeping it facing the right direction. Louis had to back off massively, and Andre has been retired. He's been disqualified, in fact, from the session for going the wrong way. I assume he must have been turned around as Louis and Simon go side by side.
So Andres was unfortunately the only casualty there in turn 2. He was spun around. Unfortunately, I couldn't see by whom, but yeah, he faced the wrong way. He was trying to get back into the right direction, and unfortunately disqualified for going the wrong way there by the game.
We've got 2 cars on top of each other, which is something you always hate to see. And you've got Hadler and you've got Frederick, so you just got to get used to that, folks. Nothing we can do about that. But yeah, Danny, a bit of contact in turn 2, and it seemed to set him up pretty nicely for the run on Vaster Racer. Will that maybe have riled up the man in the racing point? We'll wait and see, but it is going to be Danny leading the race at the end of lap 1 from Vaster Racer, Blizzard, Casper. Louis, who got his elbows out a little bit to stay ahead of Simon in 6th. And then it is Sven, Truesdale, Aero and Zach finishing off your top 10. And of all, you know, stayed where they started really in terms of the tyres that they started on, which is good for them. It means they don't have to get mixed up with any guys on mediums. Sparks the heads of those guys on the alternate strategy.
Yeah, there have also not been that many incidents and not many position changes. If you look, really the only change is now Sven going for an overtake on Thyman and makes the move stick into turn 1. But apart from that, we really only had a lead change between Danny and Valsaray, so we had that move now between Sven and Thyman. And then the top 12 otherwise have all stayed the same.
Yeah, it's really at the back, wasn't it, where we saw all the action happen. I wasn't watching too closely because I was seeing what Danny was doing, but was it the 2 Red Bulls that came together?
I don't think so. I think Andres was a little bit further ahead of where Jogler was, but again, at the end of the day, I'm not sure. It could have very well been that the 2 Red Bulls have actually tangled up together.
Well, unfortunately, that is 1 Red Bull already out and everyone down in P18. Still, though, most of the race still to go. 24 laps to go at the end of this one, so plenty of time to fix that all up and get yourself back at the field. But it is still Danny leading. We've got a bit of a train already starting to break off. It looks like we've got as well yellow flags. It is Joglar and Louis slow in the castle. I assume that they've either one or both of them hit the wall.
Virtual safety car. First virtual safety car of the race. So, and I think, what happened was Louis and Joglar just came together there. Let's look at the front wing. I'm trying to see.
No wing for Joglar and half a wing for Louis.
Yeah, that's definitely pit stops for both of them right there. Getting that fixed.
Got to remember that these guys have all been told that they cannot exceed the delta. It has to stay in the green until we go green. As Danny tries to fake out Vasta Racer, no one else is going to fall for that bluff. And Danny, well, he tried to get Vasta Racer to pit there, but didn't quite work out. At least tried to trick Vasta Racer into thinking that he was pitting. But Hadler will pit on those mediums. I'd assume that's for a broken car, as will, of course, Louis and Joglar. Hopefully it will stay VSC until they get out. At least give them a chance to get back into the race. Should be hard as well for all of them, I guess. Try and get them to the end, but no, we're going green.
We are back under green.
Of course, Louis can't go on to the hard. He's already on them, so he's going to stick on a set of the mediums. And what will Joglar put on? He'll put on mediums as well, but we're green again, as you say.
Nope,
DRS
Joglar's
enabled.
on hards.
Yeah, okay, sorry, it said different tab for me. It took a while to update. But we are green again.
Sometimes does that.
Yeah, it's annoying, that, isn't it? I hate it when it does that.
It really is. But Hadler did have a front wing change as well. I was looking at his pit stop. He did have a front wing change, so that was not a scheduled pit stop for him.
So Blizzard then looks the most likely to make an overtake on Vasta Racer because he's nearly out of DRS. Look at Danny. Of course, he'll catch right back up again as Frederick has gone off, and I have a feeling it might have come together with Kiski again, or at least Kiski was going past. Is in the castle section once again. Hopefully Hadler will get close to it before he despawns. Isn't it? We're going to get a safety car or anything as Blizzard's lost the position to Casper. I don't know how that one happened. I don't see any front wing damage, although we did see him get turn 15 run before. So it could be the same again because he's going for the move now. Could be they even set something up. I'm not too sure what's happened there, but Casper now has no DRS. Blizzard does have DRS. Will he go for the move or will he do the classic Blizzard? Just sit back and chillax.
Yeah, I just saw the wreck of Frederick. He was really blocking about 80% of the track. There was not a car width space. Thankfully, his wreck was also ghosted, so all the drivers that were still behind the pack, namely Hadler, Louis, and Joglar, were able to drive through the wreck and not have to wait, because otherwise we would have had another safety car, or a first safety car, probably, for that situation right there.
Yeah, well, luckily he did ghost, because that would have been just carnage, wouldn't it? I would certainly not like to see that so early on, but yeah, no safety car for that. I'm surprised with that, but then again, the VSC had only just went in when he binned it, so that's why we didn't get anything. Joglar, though, is into the pits again, so he, not too happy.
And he
He's
retires
retired as well. Yeah, so that's both Red Bulls out already. Not good news for them.
That's going to be a complete zero for the ECDF1 team. They only have 5 more races to, move up the order. So they're going to most likely be last or tied for last, depending on whether Louis makes it to the end, because Frederick is obviously also already retired after that incident in the castle section. So it could be the only saving grace for ECDF1 could be if another team also has a double retirement and therefore are tied with ECDF1 at 0 points.
Vasta Racer hit the wall on the exit of turn 15 and it has put him outside of the DRS range of Danny, which is brilliant news for the Mercedes driver, the S2V man, leading this race. But Casper is coming through the field now. He's got that fastest lap. He's already got ahead of Blizzard, and we don't know what happened to Blizzard. Maybe he did the same thing as Vasta Racer, just tapping the wall on the exit of 15. Like I say, there's nothing stopping you from flying over that curve. It's not being monitored, so it is up to your own risk if you have an accident or not. But certainly now, Casper they're playing a team game at VSR. That's fair enough. Casper with the fastest lap, the fastest car out there, and he's being let through to go for Danny now.
Yeah, there is no rule here in the PSGL Esports Cup that says you are not allowed to use team orders. Team orders are almost encouraged, pretty much, and Racing Point, VSR, using them to full effect, with Casper now being in second place ahead of his teammate Vasta Racer.
We've got quite a train going on for P6, and it looks like Zach is struggling a little bit on these tyres now. He's got pretty much everyone down to P12 on his gearbox. We've got not a very good shot of it here in a minute, but you can see as they head up through the castle section, Louis really the head of the attackers, and you can see that it's all the way back now to Juiced. It is so slow, this train, and this is where you start getting the very fun action. Of course, reminder that... Oh, Zach!
Oh, that's front wing damage.
Yeah, that's going to be in the pit lane.
That is the right side end plate at least gone, maybe part of the wing as well. I can't really tell because the front wing is pretty hard to tell apart. But Louis trying to get past, and I think that's going to happen sooner rather than later. Slipstream overtake, everything. Throw the kitchen sink at it, and that's an easy overtake. That is Zach... does not go into the pit. Oh, he does. Oh, and that I think is a 5-second penalty right there, as he did not fully commit to the white line, crossed it on the pit entry. So that will be an additional 5-second penalty for Zach after the race. We have to keep that in mind. I'm going to try and write that down.
Everyone's pitted, by the way, in the top 3 apart from Casper. He stayed out. Blizzard, new front wing, so that would suggest that he did hit the wall at turn 15 at some point. He's on to new hards. Aero's now got ahead of him. Zach in the pit for mediums, and then you've got Fast Racer and Danny also on the hard compounding tyre. So we've currently got 5 out there on hard, 4 of them brand new. And what will Casper do then? I assume he's going to have to give it everything on this in-lap then to just give himself a chance.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm looking at VRT Thyman here, who's pretty close to Louis after they were both in that train headed by Zach. And Thyman struggling really through turns 5 and 6 there. The left-right hand, the left-right chicane, really struggling keeping the back end in check, and thankfully did not hit the wall, so he's so good to go. Did not lose too much time either, so he's still pretty close to Louis Welch there, and we might see some action on the long straight, on the start-finish straight, as Louis now struggling through turn 15 there. I think he may have hit the bump a little bit too hard, and it unsettled the rear. So Thyman in a really good situation right now, really good position to maybe take that 3rd position off of Louis.
Yeah, let's see if he can do it. We'll also see if these guys pit. Looking at the top 2, Casper in the pit lane. Sven is going to be in the pit lane as well. This fight might well end up in the pit lane.
They all come in.
Truesdale stays out though.
Truesdale stays out because his teammates is in, so they don't want a double stack. And we have Wouters and Juice also staying out. They could have come in, but obviously they're on the mediums. They don't want to. Same with Sparks. They're all on the mediums.
There goes Danny, by the way, back into the net lead of this race. Faster Racer still behind his teammates. He's going to hit the wall nearly. Look how close that was. I wonder if Faster Racer might have a run now. Of course, cold, hard tyres will tend to send you into that wall if you're not careful. The Faster Racer will just hold back. And obviously Blizzard now has fallen down a little bit. He's now under pressure from Thyman. He's right on him. No ERS usage though, so he's just going to sit back and, well, how many times have we seen this one before? Blizzard versus Louis looks like it could well be a fight to keep an eye on in the coming laps.
Meanwhile, Net, P2 and P3, Casper and Valsa Racer, gives me a little bit of flashback to 2018 real F1 with Perez and Ocon in the Racing Point, and it didn't end too well multiple times. Let's hope these two can keep it clean and not push each other into the wall, but I have a little bit more faith in those two than I think Perez and Ocon warranted at the time.
Well, I mean, these two already operate team orders. That's more than Force India could ever manage when they have those two and everything, so it's a good start already.
That is true. That is true.
Well, look at this. Fight for the race lead. Sparks, of course, will get ahead when Truesdale pits. He's already pulled over. But will Walters have a chance as he heads down towards turn 1? He could do, but he's on zero ERS.
He doesn't try. Yeah, he doesn't try. No ERS deployment there. He just wants Sparks to use some of his ERS, and then maybe at a different stage, a different opportunity in a different corner, try and overtake. Maybe here into turn 3 on the back straight. Yes, he's trying. He's on hot lap. He goes back to medium. Nope, he's not trying again. He's just trying to stay with Sparks here and not really forcing the overtake. I think what Wouters is doing here is he's trying to play the long game and trying to see how his strategy works out, not really costing himself too much time by battling this early in the race.
True Steel came out side by side with Aero, and they're still side by side on the way down towards turn 3. And that's very late on the brakes. Aero's going to hit the wall if he's not careful, and he is just going to have to escape down that escape road. Very handy, that. And, well, yeah, hard tyres. Don't brake late unnecessarily onto the stint. You'll go a non-hour in here, won't you? And he has done that. He's lost a good 5-6 seconds there, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, but it needs to be said that he will go to the end. So for him, I mean, most of these guys are going to go to the end. The only ones who won't are pretty much the top 4: Sparks, Vatos, Juiced, and Liam. Question is, how many are going to come out after their pit stop ahead of VRT Aero?
I think my big question, actually, for the top 4 right now is, when they do pit, are they going to go onto the softs? Because, I mean, I guess that's a plan, isn't it? If you're going to start on the mediums.
The issue is that the softs are that much quicker. I mean, fresh softs compared to fresh mediums on this track, over a second.
And then compared
mediums
to the hards,
between hards, about half a second. So between the softs and fresh hards, 1.5, 1.6 seconds even.
Yeah. So they need to actually hope that if they might be wanting a safety car for when they pit, but they're going to want that to happen. Well, when are they going to want that to happen? Sort of lap 17, 18, something like that, onwards?
Roughly somewhere between lap 16, or let's say lap 15 to 18, I would say, is when they would want to have the safety car, or a virtual safety car, come out.
Yeah. So I think they prefer a safety car, because if you get a full safety car, then the whole field would pit at that point. Because you have to. You'd have to, really. So that would guarantee they stay in the lead.
Yeah, those 4 would then stay in the lead. So everyone would have made 2 stops apart from the top 4, who would have had their strategy just work out to perfection. Yeah.
And well, there's plenty of places where you could get a safety car spawn from. I mean, we've got Sven under pressure from Blizzard, Louis, Thyman as well, and that could develop into something fun. We'll wait and find out. Obviously, the top 3 themselves, I mean, they could put themselves in trouble and have Liam being the benefactor of a Finn. When his teammate catches him, Liam, he will not fight him too hard, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, I think we're going to see another instance of team orders like we did with Casper and Vaster Racer. Just that in this situation, obviously Liam and Danny on very different strategies, so it would make even more sense than it did when Vaster Racer led his teammate by.
Here comes Blizzard then. He will have the DRS, but will he have the ERS usage? No. He's just going to sit back as usual on 0. I mean, he'll close up nicely. He might even go for it anyway, even sitting on 0. So I assume that means that Sven was also on 0. He was indeed. And Blizzard then gets a free pass up into P8. A very strange call out from Sven to let that happen. Because
he taps the rear! He taps the rear, tries to turn him back around. That is a gentleman move there from Sven, I think. Trying to keep Blizzard from spinning, but I mean, you gotta give the position back. There we go. Yeah. I gotta give that to Sven there. Absolutely gentleman move. Tries to prevent, in fact, damages his own front wing by trying to keep Truex facing the right way, and also giving the position back. I gotta give that to Sven. It was. He braked a little bit too late, out-braked himself into turn 2, but afterwards trying everything to, make it right, and losing himself positions in the process as well. So fair play to Sven.
Yeah, Lou was very close to smashing into that. I have no idea how he missed it. He must have been right up against the wall. I was on board with him, like it looked pretty close, but yeah. Lucky no one else got involved in that. There was no sort of damage done, I guess. They lost a few positions, but no actual car damage, as far as I can see.
Sven has his end plate missing. His let me see, his right side end plate.
Yes, sorry, it's black on black. It's difficult to tell sometimes when you've got all these shadows.
It really is, especially the Williams and the Alfa Romeo are the 2 cars where it is the hardest to tell.
Yeah. Speaking of which, has that Alfa Romeo got damage as well? He has indeed, I think. Oh, maybe he hasn't.
I don't know.
I'm starting to see your problem now. I can't tell either.
Exactly.
No, it does have damage. He does have damage. Does he have damage? Oh my god, I can't tell.
Meanwhile, Sven into the pits. Liam as well. That's a pit stop onto the hards.
Yeah,
Liam is going medium to hard. He does not want to play around with those soft compound tires. He decides to go the little bit safer route, let's say, and goes for the hards. Rejoins in P12 behind Zach,
who is damaged.
Who apparently does not. He
is damaged. Yeah.
Right side end plate, I would assume.
Yeah, I did call that one. It looked difficult, but it does have damage. There's Blizzard.
I'm trying to see. Yeah, he has. Yep. There
Blizzard
you go.
Does get through there, by the way, on true steel. Nearly hit the wall, but kept it nicely on the line, luckily.
Yeah, the question is whether Liam knows that Zach has damage. If so, I'm pretty sure he's going to press the issue here and trying to get past as quickly as possible, because obviously you lose so much time behind a damaged car. Even if it's slight damage around these parts here, Sector 2, where you get the caster section and everything, and downforce is just so important. Yeah, you're going to lose some time, but let's see. He's not passed yet, obviously, because it's also really hard to overtake here. But I think on the start-finish straight, we're going to see Liam try and make a move on Zach for P11.
I mean, Zach actually looks quite comfortable despite the damage. I mean, I've seen league races around here where you've got plate damage, which is maybe yellow at a push, sort of yellowy orange, and actually it's pretty drivable. And he's not really struggling right now. He's extended his gap to Liam in that middle sector, so he doesn't seem to be struggling too much. Of course, TRS will help drag Liam along, but that would explain why he's not pitting.
I think Liam knows he's using overtake mode. He's trying to catch up. No, he's using none to have some for the second straight, I think. That's why he's going down here. But he's trying to catch up to Zach and trying to make that move. I think he knows that Zach has damage and he wants to force that move. Let's hope he doesn't force it too much. But here we go. Out of turn 2. He's a little bit far away, but he could very well make it happen. Gets the pole, tries to pull out. Does he try to send it? No. Yeah, I was a little bit too far away there. And Zach's still holding on to that P11.
Yeah. So the top 3 have all stayed within DRS. They'll still be out, like I say, for a few more laps. Danny isn't really making too many inroads. He won't be catching them before their pit stop, I don't think. Just being on those hard tyres, they just do not have much of a pace advantage even over the older medium compound tyres. And, I mean, that's good for Danny, I guess, because it means he's in nice free air. Doesn't have to worry about anything, doesn't have to worry about getting caught in their fight and letting Casper catch up.
Yeah, the mediums and the hards are pretty similar in their behavior. The hards last around...
hold on. Has something happened to Waters? Because he's really slow. He's broke his front wing. He's broken that front wing.
I can't see it. I'm way too far away. They're all pitting, yeah.
Now, Juiced, I don't know. He went in and out of that line.
Oh,
and Juiced is now... Yeah, that was Juice's fault. He pushed him in.
Yeah, that penalty might be removed after the race.
I have no reason to see why that wouldn't be removed. And that's interesting then. They've done only the 12 laps on the mediums, and they'll do the rest of the race in the hards,
However, Wouters did get his front wing changed, so that's definitely his pit stop due to front wing damage. But meanwhile, Danny assumes the lead ahead of the 2 Visceral Racing cars of Casper and Vasta Racer. It's hard to keep them apart. It's easy to say Vasper and Casper Racer, but sorry for that, guys. That was my fault.
But yeah, Simon and P4. Such a difficult gap right now. Last thing they needed was to come into this fight, and well, they're now gonna have to try and force their way through. I mean, this could become easily an 8-car train if Juice just starts to catch up, which he probably will do. Even a 9 if Aero decides to get involved, he just never know.
Wouters could still get involved in this. I mean, he had the pace. He could easily catch up to this. It could be going to 10-car train there all the way from Simon in P4 to Wouters in P13. I mean, they're already only 8 seconds apart.
Indeed, and the good news about this fight as well, if you're in the top 3, is that this is all happening 7 seconds behind you, and especially if this all starts to get nice and dicey, then they'll be fine. They'll just be fine. The top 3 are doing their own thing now. They're just going to try and control their penalties, I guess, and see what they can do about fighting each other. But it looks like Sparks is already trying to get a move done on Louis. DRS should be enabled here, and so should the
both.
overtake mode. That's
Louis is not fighting
ahead.
this. Louis is not fighting this. He is happy to let Sparks go by. No ERS deployment. He had plenty. He had almost 70% ERS. So he could have used it to defend. He didn't.
Ooh, I wonder if Juice just had contact with Liam there. He's got a penalty for exceeding track limits, and we cut him absolutely sideways. He's trying his best to get by the Mercedes driver, but nothing really happening. Louis staying on 0. I mean, he could just be trying to save the ERS. I'm sure he knows he's got the pace to maybe get back by Sparks. He also knows that Sparks is on much newer tyres. Could give Timon a bit of a nightmare, a bit of a headache. So I'm sure it's about a strategy in what Louis done. He's not the type of driver that just lets people through for no reason.
Yeah. I think there's got to be...
The train's getting so much longer. He can't be doing this too much. It's now very much a 6-car train. Luckily for these guys, Liam is fighting Zach, Zach quite hard. And so he actually the one that was fighting with Liam, not Juice, I don't think. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. That means they will be catching up anytime soon.
Easy to get the two Alfa Romeos mixed up there. But yeah, it is Zach behind Liam, and Juice is the last one in that 6-car train here. And what a sight it is, I have to say, on board with Juice, seeing all these cars ahead. It's fantastic to see. I mean, if I was Juice right now, I'd be licking my lips. I'd be like, look, I'm gonna get all of you. He probably won't, but as a racer, you're always thinking everyone you see is a position you can gain.
Speaking of which, here comes Sparks on the back of time, and he's going to go for P4. Should be relatively easy. And up he goes, P4 for the CRG driver. And Louis outside DRS nearly now. Look at this, he's full on a second outside. Luckily he had the DRS, but now he's got these guys on, and maybe he is struggling for pace out there. Oh, off goes Zach! Or Juice, I should say. I've got them mixed up again.
Juice, yeah.
And that's a broken front wing. Well, that might be the penalty he gets for knocking the Ferrari into the pit lane, maybe. But, yeah. Oh dear, that's a shame for him.
That's a lot of front wing on. Left side, right side is still intact completely, but the left side, the end plate is missing and part of the wing is missing. Really, only the base of the front. Red damage. Red damage is usually the whole thing gone.
Ah, Christ. Don't crash on me now, stream. I bet you're about to crash. I've got some red X's. I'm on the LAN cable, so it should fix itself. So don't panic yet. Okay, we're back in business. It's fine. It was the game's fault.
Are we good?
Yes, we're fine.
Okay. Oof.
Oh,
Danny,
wow.
5-second penalty for exceeding track limits. That is turn 15.
That's interesting.
And that is the danger.
That is interesting. So this has been told it's not been monitored. Does this mean penalties don't get removed ever? Because again, the way this is all worded for the stewards is that this is something you do at your own risk. That's what I get from the no monitoring. So
yeah,
if he's got that penalty,
think penalties don't get removed either. If it was a 3-second penalty, maybe, but this was a straight up 5-second penalty just for that corner.
That's weird, that one. It's just, we'll wait and see. But he's been told he can do that. But I mean, you can't just, you know, cheat it out a little bit. But I'm sure we'll see what they decide to do. Louis up ahead of Timon now. He's now got Blizzard on the back of him, so he's going to have to keep his eyes open everywhere, really. Where does he decide to look, the VRT man? He's got cars everywhere. Louis has a DRS failure. Louis has a DRS failure.
I was looking at him the last lap and a half, and looking at him in the DRS was when he was close enough and he wasn't opening the DRS, and so yeah, he definitely has a DRS failure. Question is when it's going to be repaired, but he's falling off of Sparks right now. At least he made it past Timon, and so did Blizzard, by the way. Timon really falling down the order, releasing the cork in the bottle here, really, is what this is, as Timon drops down the order. He was the one who, I don't want to say he held them up, but he was clearly the one who led that train, and if you lead a train on a racetrack, chances are you're the slowest one in the group. Yeah,
I think one more thing to put up for Danny, I mean, if he has... You know, if he gets that reduced to a warning, he can still end up with a penalty if he had 2 other warnings. But I'm sure he'll figure it all out. It's got to be pointed out though that Casper is catching him, so I mean he could end up losing this on track anyway. At this rate, Casper perilously close to entering his DRS range, and they're both low on ERS. It's not like, you know, one's wasted all theirs. They both have And so that seems to be genuine pace. It's getting Casper right up close to the back of the Mercedes. Could we begin for a thrilling last 10 laps? Let's hope so.
Yeah, they're trying to battle this out on track, I think. For Casper, obviously, I think this is the smarter call, because you never know what's going to happen after the race. The 5-second penalty might get removed, and then it would only be a P2 for Casper, so you'd rather get P1 on track knowing that nothing can take that away.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how they decide how that one works. So, I mean, obviously, Casper's got no idea of the penalty. Jeff doesn't tell you about 5-second penalties. So, you know, he's closing up here. Right? As far as he's aware, this is 0-0 on the penalties. He's going for this. So, that should give us a fight regardless.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I just to give a little bit of context to Danny's penalty, he did not have a single warning before the 5-second penalty. He did not have one.
That'll be fine for him then. He'll get that removed and then he'll have no penalties, and that means that Casper does have to go for it.
We don't know whether he will get it removed. That's the thing.
Oh! Louis spun off. Or has he gone off? He's only gone off, but has he been pushed there, or has he just broke himself?
I don't know, but something is broken for him. He's letting everyone by. I don't know what happened there, but I think he's got damage.
No, he's...
Does he? Yeah, right side end plate. Right side end plate. Right side end plate is gone from that front wing. But that's the only damage he has. Apart from that, his car seems fine. So I'm a bit surprised that he lets everyone through.
Also, we know it's had DRS problems, but it's not like it's wide open, so I don't know really what's done that. But anyway, he's been off the track. At the front, though, look who's in their DRS now. Both low on ERS, has to be said, but Casper now has DRS to drag himself along and start saving some of that DRS, and certainly, or sorry, saving the ERS. Certainly, though, looks like Danny is under pressure now for this race win.
Yeah, these last 9 laps are going to be really, really exciting there, with the fight for the win. Casper closing in every single lap. Let me quickly check the times for the two. Last couple of laps here, 42s for Danny, 42.0, 42.1, very consistent. 41.9 last lap, was a little bit better than before, but yeah, Casper 41.5 on the last lap, so he gained 4/10 on that one lap alone.
Yeah, so I think it's a matter of time before we start to see a fight between these two, which is something that we've been looking forward to pretty much the whole race. Danny, of course, getting the lead after sort of nudging Casper's teammates at turn 2. No real hard play there, it's just some good fighting, but surely Casper might still fancy taking this win. Of course, they've got to be careful that if they make a mistake here and Casper tumbles down the field, then this isn't really a race that they need to win, because they're running 2-3 anyway, VSR. They would be going to the top of the standings with, what, 47 points at the minute. Unless one of them has the fastest lap. Let's just check that. Oh, it's Sven, so no one will get the fastest lap, actually. I don't think, because it has to be in the top 10. So, at the minute, VSR are going top, because they'll be scoring 22 points for Fast Racer and 25 points for Casper. They've got to be aware of that, because CRG will be the next highest scoring team, I guess, on what, 20 and 18, so what, 38 for them. And then
no,
S2V
would have 42 with 30 for Danny and 12 for Liam.
You're right there, sorry. Can't count. Well, Liam's got past even more. Zach, I think, has got that pit entry wrong again. Maybe I missed.
That's 10 seconds.
Yeah, you got to stop doing that, man. You'll get in trouble.
This is why you have to read the driver's briefing.
Read them rules, man.
Yeah, this is why it's so important to always keep up to date with what the stewards are telling you before the race. He's going on to softs. He's trying to get the fastest lap away. Also changes his front wing again. So that was not a scheduled pit stop, I think, for Zach, as he is now back out of the pit lane in P15.
It'll be a free fastest lap though for him. Not that that really means much to him or IGK, to be brutally honest with you. They are right down the back of the field now, 15th and 17th. I mean, at least they're scoring points on like ECD, but still.
Yeah, that's 10 points. They're also scoring points on MNT, who obviously have Frederick already retired and Louis in 16th, so that would be 5 points for Team Mentalism.
So well, the top two are both saving plenty of ERS now, so they're really playing this very nicely indeed. Casper staying within the DRS range, and that is vital, as I say, to helping him win this race.
Yeah, now, strategically speaking, I mean, it's pretty obvious what Casper should do. Save ERS as much as possible, try to stay within 1 second, always use the DRS, hope it doesn't fail, and, you know, attack in the last 2 to 3 laps. Now, for Danny, it's a little bit trickier. What do you do if you're in the lead and the guy behind is coming close to you? And I think Danny is doing the exact right thing. He's also saving ERS. And if I was Danny, I'd be the kind of guy to say, look, I mean, if you want to come close to me, come close. If you want to overtake, hey, come overtake. I'm going to try and overtake you back on the final straight of the race. And I think we've seen that in F1 Esports when they raced in Azerbaijan. No one wanted to be first on the final lap. Everyone wanted to be second. Because the last straight is just so long, and the run to the finish line is just so long that you can easily overtake. And we've seen it in real F1 too. I mean, Lance Stroll once got a podium here. How did that happen?
Well, no, really. That had nothing to do with it, actually. It's about the Valtteri Bottas passes him over the line for second that day. That was where we saw that in practice.
Yeah, but I mean, he still got a podium.
Yeah.
He still got a podium.
Yeah. I mean, you're saying that Lance Stroll's a bad driver.
It could have been in second place.
We're not going to have this argument, but Lance Stroll's a great driver. But let's just get this under there. Let's just make sure we
know that I respectfully disagree.
Just know that he scored double the points of George Russell once. Anyway, we're not here to have this argument. We're here to watch racing.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll argue another day about this one.
Meanwhile, Casper is up to 70% on the ERS. Danny is not saving as much as he would like to, I think. He's still using medium ERS deployment here on the straight, so he's up and down to 24%.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Casper is looking in a prime position here. If I was Danny, I'd probably take that second place. I'd probably be like, you know what? I'm saving my ERS. If you want to overtake, go overtake. I'm not taking that first place away from you. Go ahead. I'm happy to sit behind in second. But Danny has other ideas, and honestly, I think it will cost him. I think Casper right now, even though second on track, is the favorite to win this race, no matter whether Danny's penalty gets removed or not.
Yeah, well, only a few laps to go to find out what exactly they're going to do, but it certainly does feel like the odds are very much against Danny right now. He's not doing what he needs to do. Look at this. Casper's now got a full tank of ERS. He can use this a little bit now, just to put Danny under a bit of pressure, and he will have to use ERS in response. This is playing perfectly into Casper's hands. Look at him overtake up here, and Danny, well, he's still using the ERS, and
just for Casper, really using high ERS deployment and overtake out of a corner is really just to stay with Danny, to make sure he doesn't fall out of the DRS range, out of that 1 second window that is so crucial in today's Formula One. And he's using it perfectly. I mean, 90% ERS battery charge is absolutely remarkable. He's recharged that battery almost to the max.
And the best bit, he's not even using it. He's on zero on this straight, and he is just... Well, he's letting Danny now save it a bit. Danny on zero on this straight. So Danny taking the opportunity to save a little bit, but that's put Casper right on him. A little mistake for turn 2, and, well, he'll be really under pressure. I'm sure he won't pass, mind you, Casper, as we think he's going to want to be past him on the final lap, preferably across the line. But, yeah, we'll see.
I'm gonna tell you what I would do, and maybe that's getting cute with it. Maybe that's the definition of getting cute with it. But I would overtake at the end of lap 25, because Casper has a full tank of ERS. He can just go hot lap mode for lap 26 and try to pull a gap through this section right here, through sector 2. And try to just get better acceleration out of every single corner and pull away bit by bit by bit, and have ultimately, hopefully, a 9 tenths to 1 second. Sorry, mix that one up. 9 tenths to 1 second gap, maybe even 1.1 seconds to Danny, and therefore ultimately taking the win.
Yeah, well, we'll see what he decides to do. It's just sort of a waiting game. This whole race really has been a waiting game. It's been building up to this moment, really, and we're seeing Casper as close as he's been the whole race. And sure, as we say, we might not go for it here, but he will be just all over him. He's on to overtake. He will slowly take that down. This stops Danny saving. This stops him saving, crucially.
Yeah. And look at this. Casper's not even using any ERS. He's sitting there at 90%, using absolutely none of it. And Danny is... Oh, Danny now has gone down, and Casper is actually closing in very much so at the last stage of this long straight. But look at that, 98%. It's full now. It's 100% for Casper.
Yeah, all looking pretty good. We've still got a fight for P8 out there. We've got 122s in that position for Ferrari, for FV, and he's just about keeping that ahead of Liam and Aero. That's been a freeway fight that's been going on for a while now. And yeah, that's something to keep an eye on in these last 4 laps as well.
Yeah, but the most interesting fight obviously happens here at the front. Danny and Casper. I mean, this is really just... Oh, this is fantastic. This is the shark circling its victim, really. Casper circling Danny, just waiting for when to bite, when to attack, and take that win off of him. Danny... I mean, he's saving quite well now. I mean, he's over 50% at this point, but he's using medium through this section, which I don't really fully understand. In fact, again, I would say, tactically, it would be smarter for Danny to just let Casper by and then make him use the ERS and see what happens. But Casper, yeah, using hot lap mode right now, probably going to go down to overtake and then very quickly to none. Yeah, he's just trying to stay with him to the DRS zone. Now DRS is open. And yep, and he goes down. Yeah, they're both going down at the same time. I was riding on board with Danny there. They're both doing the same thing. Danny can control this, you know. He actually does seem to have enough to maybe control this now at this point. This might not be as simple as it looks. I think Danny knows exactly what he's doing as well here, frankly. At that point, I think what Casper has to do is that he needs to make sure that he crosses the line with 10% ERS and not that much more, because that means he's done a good job of catching up to Danny in the middle sector, at the beginning of the third sector, and, you know, trying to use the ERS there and catching up through these smaller, shorter straights where, you know, a little bit of ERS deployment does help you with the acceleration. And I think, wow, this is tricky. Well, time is running out, so Danny is still getting this ERS up, but he's using it in all the same places, crucially, as Casper is. And the thing is, right, if you're at about 60 ERS at this section here, which Danny's nearly at, you can frankly waste that whole thing and save it in the middle sector. I think he might be alright with this, you know. He really might just do his job here fine. Danny is smarter than we think, maybe. I'm not saying he's not smart. I never said that. But I gotta say, that's why I'm saying, you know, maybe it is getting too cute with it. Yeah, look at this. But, oh, he's getting Casper to use his now. This is not going to plan for Casper anymore. No, Casper's still fine at 70% there at the end of the long straight. I think that's perfectly fine. I mean, Danny's at 40. But, yeah, that's why I'm saying overtake at the end of this lap. And then, you know, just a surprise overtake. And then try to use the ERS, the rest of the ERS you have, to stay ahead of Danny. By the way, I'm just going to politely let the chat complain about ERS because I've been warned not to. So feel free, complain all you want about this because it is low-key ruining this entire race. But no, it's not. It makes it exciting. Let it play out. It's been completely overhauled. Don't worry, it will be sorted. We do not have to deal with this much longer. But yeah, this is it really. We're getting ready. We've got sort of 2 big fights there as well because Blizzard has found himself under massive pressure
for P5. And this could blow CRG's points haul today as well, because he is really struggling for pace. We've got two things, like I said, to keep an eye on. Let's see Danny. He's got much less ERS he did on this time last lap. He's down by about 10% at this particular point. And Casper, well, we'll see what he does here. Is he going to go for it on the way into turn 1? Will he do it into turn 3? Will he possibly even save it and go for it on this run on the final lap? It feels like that's the most unlikely situation, so this could be the move right here. Truesdale, they're fighting away and they're getting penalties now. But then again, that 5-second might all get removed. But here we go. As we get ready to start the final lap, Casper is using everything he's got. Danny as well, everything he's got. And he's under 20%, probably under 10% nearly by the end of the straight. Casper right
does not
on him.
Use more.
Casper getting ready. Casper's getting ready now to go for this into turn 3. And if he doesn't do it there, then he's going to have to get pretty creative with this one. So here we go. DRS for the second time. Truesdale gets ahead of Blizzard. And we'll be at all surprised to see Timon go for that as well. But Casper on the back of Danny is not close enough. He's nowhere near close enough, so he's going to have to try something different here. Danny misses the apex a little bit into turn 3, starting to feel that pressure a little bit. Casper might well start trying to look into the braking zone, trying to show him, hello, I'm here, I'm ready to go for this now. But he's holding strong, is the Mercedes driver for STV. Like I say, this is not a critical win for VSR. They've just seen CRG Blizzard lose a position. That's more points in their favour. At the top, of course, S2V also losing just 1 point in the same time, but it's still a point loss. It's a point loss. So taking their 2-3 would still leave them at a pretty healthy championship lead. But they want the victory, don't they? They want to go for this. And Casper has stayed much closer through this lap, and we have seen in the last few laps. And it is certainly seemingly going to be setting up a move at the end of the race, because Danny's ERS is simply too low. His fuel is simply too low. It is all going wrong for him right now. This is going to be rich overtake versus possibly maybe not even able to go rich, let alone overtake for Danny. So surely Casper is going to have a go here. Remember, Danny will have a 5-second penalty put on here. It will probably get removed, so it will show Casper on top. But will he get it legitimately, or will he get it on the penalty? Here we go. A lot of weaving's going to go on. And the DRS for Casper. Here he goes towards the line. This is for victory. Danny can't do anything. And it's Casper who wins the first round of the season here in Baku. And that was perfectly played for the VSR driver. Faster Racer is going to take P3, which will give VSR a very handy championship lead. They should have, well, how many points do they have? 52 points coming from today's race. And Blizzard gets back up to P5 via, I think the same move as Casper pulled. And that was a great last lap. That certainly set us up perfectly, and we got the payoff we were waiting for.
Yeah, that was a fantastic start to the PSGL Esports Cup. If that's the first race, I can't wait to see the other 5. Austria next week. We're not going to have a similar finish, I would assume. But Austria always makes for some really, really close racing. And so we might see some other crazy action around the Red Bull Ring.
Fastest lap goes to Zach, so I don't know how that works. I know we've got 10 different teams. I don't know if they'd get that point or not, but I can ask Conor.
No, they don't.
I imagine
they
not,
don't.
though, because he's not on the top 10. But,
exactly. It's the same rules as in F1, so no points if you're outside the top 10, which Zach is, so no point here for the fastest lap for anyone.
So then, VSR are the team to take charge in round 1. A fantastic showing. I mean, they've got 2 cars on the podium. They've won the race and finished 3rd. A very handy performance. Danny's penalty means nothing because he was, 7 seconds ahead of Vast Racer anyway, so the penalty doesn't really need to get it removed now. It means nothing.
Yeah.
But let's quickly confirm the order.
It's probably a big sigh of relief coming from the stewards, because it doesn't matter how they decide.
Yeah.
The only thing it does matter with is maybe precedent, if we have such a scenario come up again, you know. But apart from that, it won't change the result. It won't change that Casper won this race for Visceral Racing, and Danny came second for S2V with Vast Racer, also for Visceral in P3.
And the rest of the order, we've got the 2 CRG boys, Sparks and Blizzard. They should go P2 in the standings, I assume, with that. Getting, 38 points, and then Danny will be getting 25, with Liam getting Wow, how many does he get?
12.
12.
That's 37. So yeah, CRG 1 point ahead of S2V.
So that'll be your top 3 teams then. That'll be VSR from CRG and then S2V. Quickly the rest of the order. We've got VRT, Simon, and then we've got Truesdale, Aero, Liam, Walters, Louis Welsh, Sven, Hadler, Kiski, Zach, Louis, Juiced, and then the 3 retirements, Jogar, Frederick, and Andre. And that has been a crazy start to the season. I'm very happy to see it actually went down to the wire, and we got the 2 drivers across the line just under a tenth of a second apart. And you know what, we see a lot of dirty driving in these sort of situations in real life, but these are the professionals, they know what they're doing, and thank goodness they kept it all safe. So that has been round 1 of the Esports Cup. I hope everybody has enjoyed watching. I know there was over 100 of you for pretty much the entire race, so thank you all for that. Loving the support. I'm sure Connor's absolutely beside himself with delight. But yeah, next up, as you say, Austin, we are going to Austria, the Red Bull Ring, a track that tends to bring the action, so I absolutely cannot wait for that one. But yeah, until then, it's VSR on top. I've been your commentator Omar, with me as always in just everything it seems these days. It's been Austin, and we will be back same time, same place. Do subscribe, put notifications on, all that good stuff. And yeah, safe travels everybody. Hope you've all enjoyed yourselves. And I've lost my voice.